Costa versus Holland, I'm into it. Whitaker versus Holland, I'm into it. Till versus Holland, I'm into it. Vittori versus Holland, guess what? I'm into it. And then if Izzy loses the belt or he works his way up to a title fight, they've already had their back and forth. Izzy versus Holland, guess what? I'm into it.
Whenever this man is involved, I am listening. He's one of my favourite fighters in general, and that is Kevin Holland. And he's going into this Saturday's fight with Derek Brunson, who's currently sitting 7th in the rankings, and Kevin Holland is sitting at 10. Brunson coming into it with a 21-7 record. Holland, very, very similar actually on paper, with a 21-5, coming into it with a 5-fight win streak. Brunson coming into it with a 3-fight win streak. Let me know what you think of this fight, because I am very excited. And I know I say that with all of them, but especially for this one.
No, I love this fight. And I know I probably say that with all of them, but I love all fights. But this fight's great. Like, this is the exact fight that needed to be made. I think these two have had their back and forths. Before they was even fighting, Holland DMs everyone. He was kind of trolling him in the DMs. I'm into it. You know the lead up's going to be fun. We've seen from Brunson sometimes that he can get a bit emotional and fight that way, so that may play into Holland's hands. But intriguing fight, and the next person who wins this is definitely a player at 185. What are your thoughts?
Exactly what you said. I'm so ready for this one for so many reasons. But firstly, obviously, we've got Holland sitting at 10 and Brunson sitting at 7, right? So if Holland is to take this win here, he instantly gets entered into an actual conversation in that division, which would be more than deserving on a 5-fight win streak with a very, very active 2020 and one of the fighters of the year of 2020 as well.
So active.
As good as it could be. And amongst that, he had some exciting fights. Obviously, we saw a few interesting knockouts, and we saw that Jacare knockout, which was...
I've never seen anything like that in my entire life.
Jacare knockout, which is as weird as it is. And then we've got Brunson on the other hand, who's a player as well. And I think this is his time to sort of say, hold up, remember who I am. Because
y'all must have forgot.
Because he is a player. And when you have a look at his record, he's 21-7, which is impressive anyway. But you have a look at the losses that he's got on his card. Anyone could have those losses. He's got some of the best fighters of that weight class of all times and of recent. So he's got losses to Jacare, obviously, which Holland beat. He's lost him twice, actually, funny enough, once in the UFC. Losses to Izzy, Romero, Whitaker, Silva. So even though that there's a couple there, we're talking about some big, big names. We're not talking about any easy nights out. You're looking at the Izzy fight. Obviously, that wasn't easy. Then you've got Romero, Whitaker, Silva. There's killers. There's killers.
A lot of people think he won that Silva fight as well. It was a very, very close fight. So sometimes a loss, right, doesn't tell the full story. But at the end of the day, it's pretty black and white. Sometimes in MMA, you either win or you lose, right, when you look back at it in hindsight. But for Brunson, right, his last fight could bode well for this fight. So Shabazian coming in, right, and who was this next wonder kid, Ronda Rousey's his manager, he's the future, and Brunson just shut him down. We usually see from Brunson, right, he comes in pretty aggressive, he leads with his head a little bit, he's there to be hit. So, but in that fight, he was very patient, he didn't rush in, he picked his shots, he mixed up the grappling and the wrestling. So we've seen a change in him that might bode well for this fight. But that being said, if anyone's going to get under your skin, it's Kevin Holland. So what are your thoughts?
That was going to bring me to what I was going to say, to be honest, because like you said, we've seen that vulnerability to Brunson's game before where his emotions sometimes can get the better of him. Like you said, in his last fight, we saw that a lot less or not at all even. And I think that puts the question out there of, is he a different fighter, or maybe did he control it well that day? Because like you said, if anyone's going to get under your skin in this organisation, it's Kevin Holland. And he doesn't necessarily come with very aggressive trash talk, but he's just always there. He's called Big Mouth for a reason.
Big Mouth.
He's called Big Mouth for a reason. He is always there. Hence why he actually never really got into the UFC to start off with, because Dana White was like, I can't have this fella out here. He speaks so much, and that's how he got his first. That's how he got his first call up.
Yeah.
Because no one else wanted to take that fight, and he took it. And it goes a long way to sort of tell you what sort of fighter we've got in our hands in Kevin Holland, and he's exciting as well. Let's not take anything away from him.
This is the thing with him. This is the thing with him as well, right? Like, he's gonna get you emotional because he's gonna not necessarily talk shit, but he's gonna talk before, during, and after. Like, he still calls Hakeem Buckley, the guy that got the spinning viral knockout, for anyone that doesn't know, still calls him his son. He's like, oh, I'm glad he's doing well. He's my son. Like, after knocking him out, he's just calling him his son. And
that was a beautiful knockout as well, though. That was
a great knockout. Do you mean Holland's knockout? Or
no, I mean Holland.
Yeah.
We've got what we know, that Buckley knockout inside out right now, but that Holland knockout was lovely, and I think that fight demonstrated the sort of fight that we have on our hands. It's hard to watch him and not instantly sort of think of John Jones. They have a very, very similar sort of physique, very wiry, very limmy, but also a bit behind him as well. Like he can hit, and he can hit hard. And I think
you don't want to get hit by him.
No, you saw that with the Buckley fight. He's just very exciting. It's what we spoke about in the last video about, if you can have that it factor, you can have that USP, you're gonna bring eyeballs to your fights when you fight, and he has that.
He's got the it factor, no doubt.
He has that it factor. The beauty of it is, obviously, because we have no crowd noise, we get that in even more high definition. So you can.
We got to mic this guy up. We've got to mic this guy up.
100%, because you hear that for 15 minutes, and it isn't even, like I said, it isn't even necessarily trash talk. He just really enjoys doing that. That's how he gets into his groove.
He thrives.
That's when he's at his best. And for neutrals,
I'm into it.
For much more.
Yeah, like you said, you touched on it before. If he can get through this in the fashion that he's been getting through some of these fights, then he's a star in the making, no doubt. And then just briefly, if he does get through it, if Holland can get the win over, think about some of the future matchups that could be made for him. Costa versus Holland, I'm into it. Whitaker versus Holland, I'm into it. Till versus Holland, I'm into it. Vittori versus Holland, guess what? I'm into it. And then if Izzy loses the belt or he works his way up to a title fight, they've already had their back and forth. Izzy versus Holland, guess what? I'm into it.
100%.
I'm into it.
That's the thing with Kevin Holland as well, is when, and all due respect to Brunson, and he's very established in this division, and there's nothing to say that he can't. He's on a 3-fight win streak as well. So he wins this, it's 4, and that's an impressive amount of wins, especially in a tricky division. But that's the thing. Holland is no easy night out for anybody in that division. So, and he's only getting better. So he's a problem. He's a problem.
So unorthodox as well.
So uncomfortable to fight. So hard to prepare for. He's very long. He's very rangy. He's almost got that sort of similar makeup to Izzy in that division. There's not a lot of people like him.
Hard to get reads on him.
Exactly.
He does some unorthodox stuff.
He comes out, because that's the thing, right? Sometimes he doesn't, he's fighting style. He doesn't set things up necessarily. He won't set up a spinning elbow that you just see coming for your head.
Yeah,
he's just
not
very
traditional.
Not at all. He's
flow state fighter. Flow state. He just flows through it. A bit like Tony Ferguson, just longer, more athletic. So it's beautiful, man. I love this fight. I can't wait. I don't know who's going to win, but I do know what the beautiful thing is.
We're going to find out.
Let's go.
As always, it's been a pleasure from Casuals Corner. If you enjoyed the content, drop a like and a subscribe. It helps us to grow our channel, and we are always grateful. As always, drop your comments into the comment box, because we love
Let us know who you got.
Your thoughts. As always, peace and love.